In September 1939, German troops thrust deep into Poland, seeking a swift and absolute victory. But barely 20 years earlier, those same soldiers' fathers had marched home in defeat. How did a nation go from collapse to conquest in just 2 decades? This is the story of the road to World War II. In November 1918, after 4 long years of war, Germany was on its knees. The Kaiser had fled, the army was in retreat, and at home, civilians were starving. And yet, even in this moment of defeat, a dangerous myth was born. German generals and nationalist politicians claimed the army hadn't been beaten on the battlefield, but was betrayed, stabbed in the back by cowardly politicians at home. This lie would poison German politics for years to come. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, World War I was officially over. A month later, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson arrived in Europe with a bold vision for a new world order. At the Treaty of Versailles, leaders agreed to create the League of Nations, an international body to resolve disputes with debate, not war. Europe's old empires were dismantled. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was broken apart, creating new nations like Austria, Hungary, and Poland. Germany itself was greatly reduced in size, but this new map of Europe contained a time bomb. Many of these new countries included large German-speaking minorities, and the desire to one day reunite them would haunt the continent. Germany also faced a final humiliation. It was forced to pay £6.6 billion in war reparations, money it simply didn't have. Then, Wilson's dream collapsed. The U.S. Congress refused to join the League of Nations, and America retreated into isolationism, leaving Europe fragile and divided. Germany became a democracy, the Weimar Republic. But it was born weak. Street battles raged between communists and far-right nationalists. Then, in 1923, disaster struck. Hyperinflation spiraled out of control. Prices rose by hundreds of % every month, wiping out the life savings of ordinary people overnight. This desperation created the perfect breeding ground for extremist leaders. One of them was Adolf Hitler, an Austrian-born veteran of World War I. Hitler's fiery speeches helped him take over a small extremist group, the National Socialist, or Nazi Party. In 1923, he attempted an armed coup. It failed, and he was sent to prison, where he wrote his infamous book, Mein Kampf. In it, he blamed Germany's problems on Jewish people, rejected democracy, and demanded expansion into Eastern Europe. After his release, he changed tactics. He would now seek power through elections. For a few years, Germany stabilized, but in October 1929, the U.S. stock market crashed, triggering a global Great Depression. In Germany, unemployment skyrocketed to over 6 million. Only extremists seemed to offer answers. The Nazi Party grew into a mass movement with its own private army of nearly 3 million men. In the 1932 elections, the Nazis became the largest party in the German parliament. When the government deadlocked, President Hindenburg appointed Hitler as chancellor in January 1933. Within weeks, the parliament building mysteriously burned down. Hitler blamed the communists and demanded emergency powers, which he used to ban all other political parties. When President Hindenburg died a year later, Hitler declared himself both president and chancellor. Germany was now a dictatorship. Hitler was the Führer. At first, Hitler focused on the economy. He launched massive public works projects like the Autobahn highway system, and unemployment fell sharply. But behind the scenes, Germany was real. The Treaty of Versailles had limited the German army to just 100,000 men. Hitler ignored this. By 1935, he openly unveiled the Luftwaffe, a powerful new air force with over 2,500 aircraft, more than Britain or France. Germany's confidence soared. Hitler reclaimed the Saar region, then sent troops into the demilitarized Rhineland. Britain and France did nothing. When Berlin hosted the 1936 Olympics, many saw Nazi Germany as a nation simply restoring its pride. But the warning signs were there. The Nuremberg laws stripped Jewish citizens of their rights. Still, the world looked away. Ironically, the first major threat to world peace didn't come from Germany, but from Japan. By the early 20th century, Japan was a military power, where real control lay with military leaders. Facing a booming population and a lack of natural resources, Japan's leaders eyed Manchuria, a region rich in coal and farmland. Beyond that lay tempting European colonies. The world was drifting towards another catastrophic war, and this time the warning signs were impossible to ignore. Thank you for watching. If you found this history compelling, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories from the past. We'll see you in the next one.